Oh dear. Okay, so I guess we are live on LinkedIn. Welcome everybody out in LinkedIn and YouTube world. We are live streaming. We are from Connect Ottawa. Weekly or at different times in schedules, we have an event called Connect You. And this is where we showcase a speaker. Now, what's changed with this is actually, I'm going to go a little plug for this event. It's a service we offer. So if you're finding that you need to get the word out about an upcoming event or something new you're doing, or maybe you're even launching a business and you're going, I really need to do this, but you keep moving it out on the calendar because you just can't get the nerve. Well, you know what? You might be an ideal person for this because we're a warm, friendly group that shows up, and you'll have somebody to be there with you and guide you through the process. Now, on the same note, if you're somebody that goes, no, I'm really good at this, blah, 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 come and help mentor. Maybe you could be a mentor for someone that's starting out in business. And also we have tools to help you continue. So we don't think that you should just have one event a year. We're thinking you should maybe line yourself up for 5 or 6. And with that, we have created a mini website or a landing page that can be embedded on your website, or you could use it as a standalone as a website, which is also like a lead generator. So when people are listening to you and they go, oh, wow, that's a good topic, that those leads will actually go right to your inbox. So we have a few different ways to utilize this event for you. So I just thought I'd share. Now, how we're going to do this event is we're going to go around the room and we're going to have everybody introduce themselves. If you are out and would like to hop on, you can hop on throughout the call with us. Otherwise, we're going to do some good old-fashioned conversation here today. And we're going to talk about remote working, the challenges, and maybe some productivity ideas that you can utilize to help you out in your business. So on that note, who would like to start first? Oh, Tanya. Let's get Tanya to start first. Tanya Hewitt is like a wonderful lady. She's got an event actually coming tomorrow. So I'm going to ask Tanya to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her event tomorrow.
Well, thank you, Margaret Ann. So my name is Tanya Hewitt, and I have an event tomorrow, as Margaret Ann said. I've entitled it the Beyond Safety Compliance Monthly Webinar. Very inventive title, but the purpose of the webinar is to get people talking about topics that they don't get the real estate to do in the workplace. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about authenticity. So coming to this webinar, you would maybe learn a few things from yours truly and the invited guests. You would most likely meet some new people because breakout groups are part of the experience, and you would meet some new people, network, and discuss the topic in more depth. And then after that, we come back and I call it the sharing session, where each group shares a nugget or two of the discussion that they had. And we top it off with door prizes for those who are in attendance. And the whole thing is over in 75 minutes on Zoom. And if it's only LinkedIn Live that people can afford for time, of course, all of the greatness of the sharing session and the networking and everything isn't going to be the same, but the time commitment is 40 minutes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Sounds great. I love the topic, authenticity. It's going a lot with the soft skills or critical people skills, as we say these days. So that's a great conversation. And Bernie, how about you? And tell us about your event. You have a podcast.
Well, I'm involved with 2 podcasts. One's called Knack for Business. The other one's called The Property Wizard. The Knack for Business talks about things that affect business, mind, body, soul, to accounting, IT, full spectrum. Culture. And the Property Wizard, if you want to get involved inside the commercial real estate and investing, it covers all the different talking points about that space. Everything from lending to buying to what type of investor you are, where to find money, how to get into a syndication, all the intricacies.
Cool. Okay. And you know what, guys, afterwards, go and I would suggest making a post on this. Let's make a post with the links to your events and the dates and times so people can sign up. And Mayank, you all as well have started a podcast.
Yes, I have. And my 3rd episode is I mean, I'm cleaning it right now because, when you record a podcast, you need some final touches on that. Yeah, so the episode will be titled "Success Belongs to the Weirdos." That's the title of the episode. And if you pay it a listen, you'll see. I mean, the title looks it's a strange title, but the way I've articulated and explained it, it's going to make sense once it's out on Spotify, Apple, and Google. And so podcast is there, and now I have 3 episodes. Well, I will have 3 episodes by the end of next week, and then I will record a couple episodes with people. So I'll go like solo, let's say 3-4 solo, then 3-4 with people, and then back to solo. So that way it's a good series, right? Because if I keep talking just like, like this, sometimes people are going to get bored of me and they're like, okay, man, this man just keeps talking all the time. They need to also hear another voice. So maybe I'm going to invite some people. And again, it's a podcast that's explicit in nature. So I have to invite guests who are bold enough to talk about things that people are not comfy to do that. I can't invite a guest who's going to think twice before uttering a word. So that's not going to cut it. So I have to have people who have the courage and the fortitude to say things that they want to, and people want to listen, but you have to be a bit bold to be on that show, right? Like you have to talk about stuff. It's an awful podcast.
Perfect. So there you go. You've got 3 events right there that you could participate in. So that's cool. That's another great benefit of coming in and meeting some people on this call, because, you might have people that are in line with you that and have already started that role, so they can guide you to figure out how to get your podcast going or how to do a video. Did you want to say something else, Mayank? Was that a hand up?
Yeah. I saw 3 events. So first of all, Tanya's event tomorrow, 11. What's the time?
I think she was posting it.
So it's 11. It starts at 10:55 and it goes until 12:15 on Zoom, or it's 11 to 11:40 on LinkedIn Live.
So no, I think I have time tomorrow at 11. So where can I get the Zoom link?
Okay, I'm going to keep moving, and you guys can do that in the chat. Okay. And Einar, are you there? Share us a little bit about you.
Yeah. I am the only one who doesn't have any podcast.
That is okay. I don't either.
So I'm teaching as an instructor at Lambton College as an analytical chemist. And also I do some research in Carleton University as a food scientist. I'm thinking to open as a consulting business, but I'm in a research. I'm in a kind of searching, and what consulting is one option. I may go for this path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And when you come out to something like this, it might even open up your mind to some ideas that you might be doing with what you're doing. So you never know. And on that note, so a little bit about me. Well, I'm running Connect Ottawa. I'm also partners with Unified Remote Work, hence this topic today about remote working. And I'm actually starting a program in the new year for side hustles. So if somebody's looking at starting a business and not sure what the next step is, it'll have 3 options. So one is just the online training academy. You can go do it for yourself. The next is you can just have a facilitator, which would be me for now, and the courses to walk you through what your next step is. Or the third way is to have the tools, technologies, training, and the courses, which means we would be inviting you into a digital ecosystem. And that's where all the magic happens, and it's a one-stop shop for your business needs. So let's get started. And like I said, I'm going to make this very interactive. So I unmute. Let's just have some fun with this and see where the questions go. So first one, do you love working from home, or would you rather be in the office? Or do you like both? Now, I know some of us are just at home, but you can let me know. What do you think? Is your office solely at home? Do you want to go out, or is it a hybrid?
I'll start. Okay, so first of all, remote workers is not just being at home. It's like working remotely. You can be at Staples, you can be at a workspace, or like what do you guys call it? Collab space? That's what you call it?
Yeah, there's collab spaces. Yeah.
Collab space, yeah. So for me, I love remote work, not just because I want to stay home and I want to be in Argentina and make money. So that's why I love remote work, not just staying at home and working. It's because a lot of people could get confused with just stay at home work. No, I love it. However, I'm going to say this. It should be a mix, because if you completely work at home, you lose the social skill. And you lose the ability to interact with people. And I have seen people, that I coach, and even the people that are in my life, they have lost the ability to even hold a conversation because they're not talking to anyone, right? You can't talk to a screen. So that's the biggest drawback of remote working, that you have lost it. So it should be a mix.
Okay, perfect. So he's saying hybrid. Okay, perfect. What about you, Tanya?
I agree. I mean, I know that a lot of places are starting to really insist that people go back to the office to try to return to a state that we had before the pandemic. But I think the opportunities of online connectivity just weren't taken advantage of before the pandemic. And I think I agree with Mayank. Like, it's not as though remote working has to be from home. It can be from anywhere that isn't, I guess, the headquarters of the office. But not having any in-person interaction is also a problem. So, I mean, I think there has to be a mix. But if there are some workplaces now that have gone very remote. So they have their headquarters in, say, Ottawa, and a lot of their employees are in the Philippines. And that's going to make it hard for in-person interaction. I don't think it's impossible. And I think it should be an aspirational thing for those companies that have chosen to do that, to make sure that they do at least have it on somewhere on the radar to allow an in-person interaction.
And I think that you guys are onto something. And again, with this call, it's going to depend on, like, I get, if you're working for a larger company where you're remote working, if you're a solopreneur and you're working, so it's all different takes. And we're going to get to some of those things that even if you're covering right now. Bernie, I'm going to throw a different one at you. What's the hardest part about working virtually for you?
You can keep going. If you're meeting in person, there are gaps in the day. So people don't tend to want to meet 5 a.m. in person. Might, depends what you do, it depends what it's about. But 5 a.m, people are either in the process of waking up or still snoozing. Unless, of course, you're doing shift work. So you can end up working, you can get online at 5, and if you're not careful, you can keep booking yourself and stacking yourself. All the meetings can make a difference. And I try to have, with my calendar booking system, that it forces, half-hour breaks in between. And then there are times I block off my day. Either there are events that I come to, or if they're not happening, then I block them off anyhow. And I'll insert what I want in there if I have a high needs situation. That way, again, I'm not trying to squeeze as much as I can. And then I let other people, book as easily as they can to reach me, right? Because it's all about communication. I'm not in my angst boat though, because people have to show up and they have to, he's going to walk and work them through, physical movements, right? So or he might coach online, but also it's in person. And then, for Tanya's session or segment, it can be, you can discuss online, but sometimes you have to see how things are flowing. It's not so much, the observations are, you have to make the observations as an independent observer.
Right. Perfect. Thank you for that. Ina, are you able to do one? I want to know, do you have a dedicated office space at home?
Yes, I do. And it makes my life easier and more private. I have my office separate and it helps. And also I agree with I believe remote should be kind of hybrid. Sometimes you can go to workplace, but the most difficult part for my remote work, I'm teaching, but I don't see 45 students face and kind of like to follow up their learning. I just kind of like talking to them, asking question if they are learning or keep the attention. It's a kind of yes and no. You don't see the faces, like interactions of the students.
Now, can I ask why you don't see the faces? Is it because of the platform, or?
I think because the policy that you cannot ask students to be online if they don't want to.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure about that. So thanks for sharing. Yeah,
No,
because
no
it
problem.
definitely makes a difference when you can
Exactly.
see people's faces, reactions,
And you see if they are learning or if they have a questions, the kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Can I ask a question to Einar on that?
Yes.
I mean, I remember when I was doing my PhD that, there was students were allowed to bring computers into class.
Mhm.
And there were many instructors who were complaining that students were not paying attention to them as much as they were their screens and likely, whatever social media that they were on. Did that, and that had nothing, like that was in person. Everything was in person then. And
Yeah.
it was a problem to get people to engage in person. So I'm just wondering if you had that experience as well.
Yeah, I was teaching in class before COVID as well. And I didn't take attendance mandatory, like I keep the options open. If they don't want to come to the class, I was okay. Like if you want to be in the class and you should pay attention, but as you mentioned, the phone or the laptop, I didn't, it's a kind of the students let them with the kind of, especially with the phone, but you can see they can follow the slides or they do some activity in class and they were using their laptops. It depends on the in-class activities. Yeah, as you mentioned, but nowadays, if you remove their recording, even they don't come to the class, they can listen after, or the setting has been changed a lot. But I would prefer to see the students, if they are joining the class, the facial, if you see the students, if they are having a questions, like interactive, I would love to see the students' face and talk to them. Like they are mature enough to join the class and then share their ideas. And if they don't want to join, they are free to listen after.
Okay.
Like I heard, I know that like when lecturers were complaining about this, they needed to up their game and they needed to do many more polls than they were comfortable with, a lot more, forcing interaction on the computer or on the phone, so that if people did look at their computer during the lecture, they would, okay, I'm driving this, so at least, like this is, I feel better about this, that they're getting engaged with what I am asking them to, as opposed to whatever they're doing.
Yeah, and I think actually I was looking at a couple other things. Like, I mean, they're starting them off very young. Where there's now kids like they're starting off, and that's what they're learning on is a computer. So it's a whole different way of learning. That's immersive learning. So it's going to be different, I think, compared to, I mean, definitely from when I went to school. Like, I mean, but this is kind of where this call is actually intended to, because it's like, what are the challenges? Definitely for me, I actually was looking at something and it said for people to turn their pictures off and just they could listen. And I'm going, well, for me, that's a problem, because if I'm trying to network and like you, I want to look at people. So even when you turn yours off, I'm like, oh, where did she go? It's because it's nothing to do with being stupid. It's just I want that. I feel it's more personable. I feel like then we're not just doing that whole virtual event. We're actually able to build relationships. I feel that I can feel you through here. I know if you're engaged or I know if you're not. You're not just showing up and got 10 computers going and got me going on one and paying not attention. That's important to me. So it's interesting how, the dynamics of just a call can do. Okay, be honest. This was a funny one. How often have you worked from bed? Has anybody on this call ever worked from bed?
I'll start.
Okay.
0, because if I leave the bed, I don't enter my bedroom until it's bedtime. I don't, because my bedroom has a bed and that's it, and a side table. All my documents, my papers, my laptop, my phones, my gadgets are in my office. And that is why when some of the IT people, or in any way remote workers, they have their little thing right next to their bed, their desk or their computer, that's a dangerous situation, because I know that's not many people have this luxury to have a separate office that is 10 kilometers away from your bedroom. But again, you can still have your desk 10 to 15 paces away from your bedroom.
But I want everybody to feel free to answer this question.
Yeah, so no.
So we don't want to give too much information. We want to know if they do. They're going to be afraid to say if they do.
Mine is 0.
Okay, does anybody else want? Okay, does anybody work from bed on this call?
So one thing I would add, well, no, the only time I'd ever probably work from bed is because I'm sick, but I have to be on a call. But a couple of things, your computer hardware, if it picks up dust and you're using a laptop, the bed's going to have dust in that space, right? So it's not suited, and you put it on your lap, that means you have to set up a lot. So the chance of putting the computer where it has a longer survivability is a desk, right? Not the bed. Yeah. If you're working in a space where you're limited in the amount of space in your apartment or you're in a bachelor's, you got no choice, right? You just got to be able to break off. Now, having a bed nearby is not a bad thing. You can grab a 20-minute nap and say, screw this, all right, I'm offline. Conversely, though, my might grab a bench and just sit back and he just does some reps, right? And again, that's a bed. Now, the only time you'd ever probably want to have someone watch them do reps, other than maybe a significant other, would be if he's doing a training element, right? So if you're highlighting it, but as a normal day to day, no, because people don't. It might make people feel uncomfortable too. And again, I guess it depends on your type of business.
Yeah. So you know what? This is very interesting, because you guys got to get into the why you shouldn't work from bed. But I just really wanted to know, did you work from bed? And that's okay. So we're not going to answer that question again, because it's interesting with this call. I probably see here where a lot of people don't, but there is a lot of people that do. And I do not keep I've never kept my phone or anything in my bedroom or anything. And I know there's a lot of people do. And so I never did, because I'm going, well, to me, that is actually in fact a bit of a collaborative working, because I can text you at 3 a.m. without thinking I'm going to wake you up. But then I realized that you're not allowed to, because people keep it beside the bed and the dings are going off. And I'm going, oh, that's interesting. So I remember going away on a weekend, and one of the people had their notifications on all night. I did not sleep. I was ready to tear their anyways. So just not, I think this call, if you're watching in, we've decided that maybe it's not a good practice to work from bed. But there is a lot of people that do. So I just, there's a lot of reasons why. There's probably, if we need the younger ones on, maybe they tell us why they want to. I don't know. You're working at home. We're all working. So how is your morning looking like? And I'm just finishing this up just to be a little bit, are you getting up? Are you doing the exercise? Are you having a healthy breakfast? Do you have your coffee? Do you stay in your PJs? Do you have yourself in a routine that you're actually feel like you're going to work? What's your morning look like? How have you adapted?
Then I'll start again.
All right. Was Ader going to say? Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, she can go ahead if she wants to.
No, that's okay.
Okay, my morning, I wake up, I move, and then I put cold water on my body, and then I do a breakfast, and then I'm just working. Oh,
okay. So cold water, you don't jump in the bathtub with the ice like some of those guys do?
I don't have a bathtub.
Okay. I imagine you would be one of those. I don't know, just a feeling.
No, I can if I had one.
Yeah, not me, but that's good. It's supposed to be good for you. I'm not going to do it, but yeah, I see the benefits, and yeah, no, that's cool, Mayank. What about you? What's your morning routine look like?
I wake up early in the morning and get prepared the breakfast. Me and husband, we are early because he's starting and working at 7:30, and before 7:30 we had our coffee and breakfast. He goes his office, I go my office. He's working from home. Even Yeah, just COVID started. Even before COVID, he used to work from home.
Okay. Nice. We're about the same, except Bernie, when he was saying about 5, like this morning I was up like at 4:30 and I'm like, oh my God. So my husband gets up at 5, he leaves here at 6, he goes to work, he gets home at 4. So he's on that routine. And as a result, I'm on the early bird routine. And I always thought, jeepers, I guess I always was on shift work or doing weird things in my life. So it didn't really bother me. And I'm accustomed to it, but it's really hard for me to stay up late now. Like I'm at 10 o'clock, I'm like 10 o'clock, I'm ready to crash. And people will say, like, when you were 20, well, I don't know about you guys, but when I was 20, I was out all night. So, I'd be going out at 10 o'clock at night, coming home 3 or 4 in the morning. And now I'm going, oh my God, I'm getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning and going to bed at 10. So it's a total 24. What about you, Tanya? Since you've been working at home, same.
I mean, it is an interesting question because every once in a while I marvel at what I was doing before. And I'm not entirely sure if I am capable of doing that anymore because it's been a while since I haven't been. But yeah, like never. There's always a routine in the morning of breakfast, and I might be shuffling somebody to some place. But it's always, I wouldn't say that I have a strict routine the way that I used to before.
And that's interesting too, because I imagine we could all go back to the old way if we had to, but it's interesting how we get really comfortable in our new lifestyles, eh? And I think that that's really relevant with remote working. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves or whatever it would be is things. I see the importance of creating or attending events outside the house. I used to be, very go. Like I still go, but in a different way. And I find that one day turns into the next. And I'm always like, oh my God, it's Friday. Really? The week, like 5 days just flew by that quick. So I find that I'm going, well, jeepers, if I was in jail, then I guess I could understand that you come out and you visit. Is it 1 month? Is it 1 year? Is it 5 years? I really don't know. That's why I keep these little charts so I can always tell how old I am and how much time has passed. It's a good job. It's not minutes or anything. It's just years. So on that note, we're going to go into some productivity things now. And okay, it's 20 to 2. So we can just throw it out there. How do you keep track of your calendars and events? Do you have an issue with that? Do you have a one-stop shop where you put everything in that you totally feel organized and everything's right there? What's your tool?
For me, I do every day to-do list before I start my day and look to the calendar. I plan every day what I should do, like it's depending on the upcoming events or tasks or assignments. I plan daily my life, and when I'm in the office, kind of follow up daily. Yes.
And so that's really it. Now, do you have a specific platform that you use? Do you use for calendars? Do you use Gmail or do you use?
I use calendar. Yes, exactly. I use my also work-related Teams, and I have my own work-related calendar and my personal calendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you able to connect all of them together? Are you able to see all your events in one spot?
Yeah, at one spot, Gmail kind of breach to them, but no, my Teams separate than my personal one.
Okay. Just kind of curious, throwing it out there, finding the pet peeves of people. What about anybody else want to share? Calendars, events, how do you keep track of all this stuff happening in your life?
I can share.
Okay.
I'd love to share. I just have one calendar. I have a system that processes all the payments and calendar, squareup.com, and I just have one calendar. However, it's synced with all my Google and everything else. So for me, I wake up in the morning and I do my calendar every Sunday for the week. I don't do the monthly stuff. That's too much for me. I don't even know whether I'm going to live for the month or not. So I do it for the week. And then after that, every day, you wake up and you take a look at your calendar. However, I start my calendar late. because I don't like getting rushed in the morning. It's like everything starts at 10 because I know for sure I will be up at 10, but I don't trust myself at 7 or 6 or something like that.
You know what? That's a great tip. I used to teach a time management thing, and it was like, schedule in your me time first. And that was like, whether it's appointment, family engagements, whatever it was, make lots of time, because the biggest thing that we do, and I think even with this remote working, is like, I think we touched on that earlier, overschedule, right? You think something's a half an hour. And I really valued when we were actually doing in-person events, because you did get some downtime. You went to an event and you had a half an hour or 2 hours and you were down and you could think and stuff. But right now, I think that we keep ourselves so busy. That's the problem with the time warp, because one rolls into the next, rolls into the next. So it's interesting to just see how everybody does that. Bernie, you're a master at this, right?
What, getting up?
Yeah.
So the part of the rhythm, I mean, I live with other people in the house like you do. So, the animals are going to remind me they have to go and be productive. The birds want to be fed first in the morning. The fish wants to be fed. The plants get watered. The coffee I programmed the night before. So I just roll up and pour it. And then the missus grabs her cups of coffee and she's on her way. So, if things are staged for success, sometimes they get skipped, in which case I have to scramble, right? And I guess there are going to be pockets of time where there are small little micro tasks you can do. And so I'll slam them in there. Like, the dishwasher, it's gone through, pop everything out, right? It's been run overnight, or the laundry's been done. I program it to fire off and start washing at 3 a.m. And by the time I get downstairs, I can go from wash to dryer, right? So I try to get things, I try to stage it so things that can happen when, I'm not in a rush, and they can be on their own. And then I just go through my workday. What can I do, and what do I have to do first? Is it connecting, or is it making money? Are those the two elements that speak loudest? Or do I do my posts? The first thing I do, and usually in the morning, is posting. I'll post things out, so I'll have content that I've pushed out, for information sharing, or I'll pick up stuff, and I know I don't want to post right now because you don't want to fire hose people, and the system doesn't like it. LinkedIn doesn't like when you fire hose it. So you pick up information, you store it, and then you release it over time, right? And it just serves the purpose. It'd be like, Mayank, for example, he might pick up a protein powder if that's part of the regime, right? He'll pick up and then he'll do it, and then he might utilize that, or he picks up supplies that he might sell to his client base, right? Tanya might be going, okay, I have a new platform coming up. I got to learn how it works. So I have to, I want to practice here and then go live later on. It's staging things so that it's at the right time in the right place. It's sort of like when you eat food, you cook it first. Typically, if the food's supposed to be cooked, you cook it first before you eat it. You can do it the other way, but sometimes that's such a good idea.
I have to say one thing. Well, before the last lady talks, the name, I don't know how to say the name. Anur.
Easy, just flows. Anur.
She has nothing to say.
I was the first to talk. Tanya didn't talk, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I just started. Okay, so Tanya, do you want to make? So we're talking about basically productivity, calendars, video calling, emails. Is there a general comment that you would like to make about productivity? And then I'm going to go through a few tips and or like some ideas of how to maybe manage all this, talking about remote working. So throw it out there, girl. Do you have something to add?
It had nothing to do with remote working, but overall, this topic is one of my weaknesses. So it is, time management is not something is high on my best skills list. And it has nothing to do with remote work. I can remember anyway, it's just it is a challenge for me, this whole subject. So I have a smartwatch because of this,
right?
this conversation is reminding me that my missed notifications app isn't working anymore. I'm going to have to download a new one. So, I mean, this is something that I need as much help as I can get.
Okay, well, that's interesting. And like you just actually said, I think there's definitely a lot of little branches that can go in from a conversation like this. Because number one was just saying, hey, where are you with this whole remote working? So many people catapulted over this over the last 2 years. We've learned, we've got frustrated, we've got Zoom fatigue or whatever. And it's like, how do we have a balance? Well, one of the things I think is a lot of times going back to the basics. Time management. Used to always do that as one of the first workshops coming into a new year. And heading out of the new year, we are in November, is the reflecting. What served us well? What didn't serve us well? What do we need to get rid of? What do we need more of? So for those things, we're actually having a holiday mix and mingle. I'm just going to share on December 7th, and it's going to be from 6:30 to 8:30. So it's going to be a mixer, but it's also going to have some time, put us in breakout rooms, and just think about real fun, casual conversation about this past year. Because as you start connecting and meeting people, we all have the same challenges. It doesn't matter our age, who we are, what our job, whatever. It doesn't make any difference, business or professional. These are real things that people go, and we love to learn. Oh, like that's a great tip. Oh, my Yank. Wow, that's how you get motivated to do extra. Okay, that's good. So this is what we do. When we come to then time management and productivity with the remote, it's a lot of times like, oh my God, okay, I have to sign in and out of Zoom. So eventually I will be going to a platform, and I'm going to talk a little bit about unified remote work and why I fell in love with that. And it is ideal for this time, just haven't been talking it up enough about it. Had to learn the process. So for those that don't know, I met Stefan Mattrell about 2 years ago, or maybe it's 3, it's like a time warp. And I ran at the time a professional business network. And what I found is that when you went to networking groups, you're constantly trying to coach people with belief systems, how to get over themselves, why you want to, like the benefits of connecting people, how to give a referral, how it's really about the relationship. But really everything led to conversation, and you had to get to know people, and you had to understand what made them tip, that got you to the trust, and then perhaps you might be doing business or referring or whatever, but it was about the relationships. The second thing was the issue of scheduling. Like I'm going, okay, to me, it was a no-brainer. You put it in your calendar. So like you don't have a calendar? Well, let's help you out with that. You put in your calendar and you just show up. So moving into 2023, I'm not hanging with anybody that needs reminders. Like I've made the decision. I'm going, no, I'm with the doers. So the doers, and we're actually opening up the Doers Academy for online courses, which is going to be where my courses are held for the side hustle. It's about, well, we have to start taking responsibility for ourselves. Is it because we overschedule ourselves? If it isn't, like, let's knock off a couple of events so we keep ourselves sane. Because when we're in this wonderful world of entrepreneurship and able to work remote workly or wherever we're going, like my Yank, you're headed home. You're probably going to be able to work at home if you wanted to.
Oh, I will.
Grab your computer.
I will
do your podcast, right?
I know I will be literally doing the same thing I'm doing in Canada. That's the beauty of having the internet and the remote. I'm not going on a vacation. I'm just changing countries because I want to go home and say hello to my mom. So it's not a vacation for me. It's 2 months. So nobody goes for a
2 months.
Yeah, it's for 2 months.
Okay.
So no company is gonna give you 2 months vacation to go.
Well, and there's another good point, my Yank. The wonderful world of entrepreneurship, side hustles. We hear about the great resignation and all this stuff. I said, but who wouldn't want a side hustle? Because if something happens with this great resignation or people are leaving, whatever, why not have something that you can take on the road? So we didn't get to what does your office look like, but where is your office? At home, I can show you. I was going to get people to show their office. You can see my mess. Yes, I've got old-fashioned filing cabinets that are full that I'm still trying to get rid of. I've got lots of little signs. My door has inspiration. I've got it's pretty compact. It was a bedroom. This is my office.
You have a fire pit. What are you worried about getting rid of paper? Just burn it up.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. I actually want to add something to Tanya's comment, if that's okay. With going back to the time management thing, I have this little frame here. It's called workflow. Okay. So this has eight activities, and they don't need to be done on a specific time. They need to be done. So it's not that, okay, this needs to be done at 10 a.m. Before I go to bed, I need to check these 8 activities, and I can do them whenever I want to. That's one. And if any task takes less than 5 minutes, do it right away. That's a formula. If anything takes less, like for example, Bernie said, taking the dishes out of the dishwasher, or just changing taking clothes out of the washer and putting in 5 minutes, just do it right away. And then the activities, because we have certain goals, right? So, okay, what activity relates to my goal? Whatever that goal is, one activity a day that takes me closer. So check mark. And then that's management. People say, wake up at 6 o'clock. Who, I don't know who made this stupid thing, the early bird gets the worm. No, it's what you do when you're up, not when you're sleeping. You can wake up at 10 a.m. in the morning and do your routine from 11.
Absolutely, Mayank. It has nothing to do with getting up at 5 or 6. Trust me. If my husband was on a different schedule, I didn't have to, I wouldn't, but I figure I might as well be in sync with the man I'm living with. so at least we're on the same schedule. But absolutely, you know what? That's a really nice thing about remote work, because you can actually design. Again, that goes back to time management. You decide. I mean, if you like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's perfect. But if you like to get up at 5 in the afternoon, that's fine, because it really is about the productivity, who you can meet, where your clients are, right? So
Mayank, just one side point, Mayank, as you age, your getting up time will shift. As a teenager, getting up at 10 or 11, that's not bad. As you age, get ready, you'll be up at 5.
No, but you know what, Bernie, I want to say to that. It's not about getting up early or getting up late. It's about getting with the flow. I don't like a sound buzzing in my ear to wake me up. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. If I can naturally wake up when I'm going to US next month to catch my flight, when I'm going to go to US to catch my flight, I'll be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I know, because it's the excitement to go home. So I'll be up at 4 o'clock without an alarm. I'm just saying, say no to alarm clocks, because that's unhealthy for you. That's like, you just, oh my God, I got to wake up. That's not good.
Right. Okay, so I'm bringing you back here because I've got 8 minutes, and I just wanted to share a few tips and tricks because I was always speaking. It was leading into remote working, tools and technologies, and training that can help you be successful online. So that might not be for the people on this call, but that's okay. It's still a little educational piece. So I was introduced to unified remote work. What I loved about it after running a networking system is the fact is it's a digital ecosystem. So the whole premise about this is to have an online community where you come together to share your expertise, discuss, brainstorm, or whatever. Within this ecosystem, though, it had the things designed to keep you on track. If you are a doer, really, this platform is not meant for people that you're just going to hang around and look. And this is the one thing that I've noticed with whether it's LinkedIn or the mighty networks we used to have, or communities it's building. A lot of times, if you look, maybe we're not getting the reaction. Yes, I know influencers, they get hundreds of likes. Everybody's sitting there going, oh, look, they got 5. But the point is that how do we get people engaged? So that's a question that one of the things that I'm putting out there. How do we actually get people engaged? It's been a bit more challenging, but when I started looking through what I did before, I'm going, well, really, it wasn't any different. It was all good when we had the meeting, just like now, right? We're all talking, we're interactive. And then it's like, okay, well, how about by next Tuesday we do this? And then we all come back, and then nothing was done. And so I was going, oh my God, this is the accountability platform. And because it's got artificial intelligence, machine learning, and smart process automation, you literally start teaching it what to do. So you can sync all your agenda, do your bookings through there. Even with video calls, like logging into Zoom. I mean, in the platform, what I loved is you just click a button and you're talking to the group. You can invite them in. Emails. Anybody ever struggle with lost email chains, or you're talking to 10 people and all of a sudden 8 people are dropped, or one person can get the other and the other person adds it? That's the beauty of the platform. It keeps everything asynchronous. So anytime you're chatting or whatever, everything is still there. I come back and I can see, oh, look, Mayank said that. But we're talking about workflows, blueprints, mind maps, all within here. Social channels, online shops. So for me, I wanted to share, this was a solution to remote working. And what do I need? I need my little laptop. I pick it up and I pack it and go wherever I want. So we talked about our home office being actually in a home office today. But I'm also encouraging, as we go into 2023 and we've got more accustomed to remote work, where really is that office? Is it in the boat? Is it, at the park? Is it, I don't know, are you skydiving? Like, not me. But like, what are you doing when you're working? And I think as you see, we become more of a visual world. This is the next ticket. You have all the tools and technologies at your fingertip. And because we're being immersed with visual things, if we're actually out there, then we'll have that opportunity to take those pictures, like, in my Yanks walking in the glebe down the canal or whatever, and, and be immersed in people's lives. And I think actually I'll share, I went to a 90-minute conference on Saturday morning, it was for Canva, because I really like marketing, pictures, art. And it was very interesting, a lot of the tools and technologies that they are bringing out to help business people at a very affordable price. I'll give them a little plug because I do use it a lot. But it got me thinking about this whole remote working. So if you're out doing this, where do you store all this? Does anybody have challenges? I know I spent 3 hours on Saturday morning because I said, damn it, if I'm talking about this, I have to get organized myself. So I deleted files, got them organized. I am happy to say that I can finally find stuff. I don't know if that is a problem with anybody. Tanya, actually, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have an issue? Like, you're doing events, you're talking to people. Are you organized where you can find all your stuff just like that in your office?
There's a bit of a recency thing, but certainly any contacts that I've made, yeah, I do keep track of that. So I am able to find people that I've met, who they are and how I met them and things.
Okay, cool. So again, and even when you're saying that with contacts in this platform, you can bring your emails in, you can do live classrooms. Ainer, I know you're probably still there, but we actually are able to take the video calls in a secure location. It's not a Zoom call. So, and actually do visual rooms where you can do breakout rooms and actually see people. So it has a lot of interesting technology, but to be quite honest, I realize we have all this stuff and some of it I haven't been utilizing myself, but I think it was getting comfortable with everything. It was so much, I don't know if anybody else maybe had a little bit of overwhelm, but we were thrown into this totally unexpectedly. We're doing everything in person, and next thing we're online trying to figure it out as we're even getting comfortable in our own skin doing that. So the call was basically, if anybody wants to talk about a new way, having your business all in one easy spot, no multiple logins, no additional fees for all the apps and stuff, because that can add up. I have a very affordable option. I'm going to actually drop you 2 files, and I'm going to put them out on the platform, which are actually onboarding into Unified. And one is about a work group to share the tools that are in it. And the second one is the apps and integration that actually goes in. And so when you have a membership there, everything is included. And what I want to do in January is do this Achieve It program. So we have the tools, we have the training. And for anybody just starting out a small business or a side hustle that's going, I don't even know what my next step is. It's like, okay, come on in here, because we're going to guide you and get you started with everything within this platform. So I would like to thank you all for your time. I am terrible at finding the chat room. Okay, there we go. Give me 1 sec, because I know it's coming up to 2 o'clock. Actually, why don't I just... You know what? I'm going to go and post it outside of here. I'm going to go post it on the LinkedIn page. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to tag and thank you all for joining us here today. Again, December 7th is holiday mix and mingle. It's going to be from 6:30 to 8:15-ish or so. We're going to talk about reflecting about the past year again. We're going to do some happy exercises. There is a small fee to join. It's $10, and we're going to do some prizes. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If anybody knows anybody that would like to have a keynote opportunity, please reach out. I'd love to talk about that. Basically, anything about business, you can reach out. So on that note, one tip. What is the one biggest tip? Everybody on this call, I'm going to go around quickly, not a long thing, that they would give somebody starting out, that is trying to figure it all out, working remotely. What's the biggest God saver? Mayank.
If you're starting out a business, right?
Yeah.
Be vulnerable and weird.
Okay, I like that. Be wonderful and weird. Stand out. Okay, what about you, Bernie?
I think have one source of information that's always your true source, like the calendar. Pick a calendar platform, and if it's not there, it's your kind of go-to. It's not. It keeps things secure. It's your flagpole in the sand. You always go back to it. There's always one point of reference. And
working with Bernie, he's very good at that whole calendar thing. I will say I wasn't as good myself, because here's a little tip: if you get into too many platforms and then it can turn into a nightmare behind the scenes. Tanya, what about you?
I would say think in advance about how you want to store your information.
Okay, that's really good. Hey, you have a roadmap. Actually map it out, because it does change, eh? And we think, oh, this is like perfect. And all of a sudden we do something and it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm redoing it because I never thought about that. So take a couple of weeks if you've got a lot of information to really figure out that funnel. And what about, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's get prepared and organized ahead of time. Like will save most of your remote work.
Cool. Thank you very much. So thank you, listen, all of you for joining us today. I'm going to say go over to the LinkedIn page at Connect Ottawa, leave a comment, leave your page or your business, and we look forward to, Thursday from 12 to 1, we have our strategy business session. If you'd like to join us, just reach out to me to learn more, and I'm going to see you all later. Have a great afternoon.
There's a big event tomorrow, though. There's a big event tomorrow. It's going to snow all day. God damn it.
Is it?
Yeah. God damn it. Ah.
When you say it's going to snow all day, are we talking like a 0.5 millimeter of snow on the deck?
10 centimeters.
I have to get a shovel.
Cumulative, or it's going to last on 1, 2, 3, and it's gone, and then a little bit more comes, and it's gone.
Okay, then that's positivity. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
We hope it's gone. Hey, a little sprinkle and gone. I'm with you, Mayank. I don't really want the snow yet either. Okay.
It's a white Christmas.
But you're going. When are you leaving, Mayank, to go home?
9th of January.
Oh, so you might have a month of snow.
But it's Christmas, though. Up until Christmas, it's okay. You are in the festivity mood, right?
Right.
But after the 1st of January, Canada turns into a war zone. No business, nothing, and everything is done. So I'm coming back on the 1st of March. So I'm like escaping most of the 60 days of winters, and then I come back.
There you go. I'm a little jealous then. Okay, well, we'll see you guys on the call, and have a productive week. Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.